All right, let's just jump right in. If you're selling in the beauty tech world, you are all too familiar with that sound of a phone clicking off. So today, we are going to build the ultimate playbook for turning that one single most common objection into your absolute biggest opportunity. Thank you, but I don't need anything. Ah, does that phrase just send a shiver down your spine? It's the line that kills a conversation before it even gets a chance to breathe. It doesn't matter if you're calling a packed hair salon, a fancy spa, or a cutting-edge aesthetic clinic. This is the wall you hit. But what if I told you it's not a wall at all? And look, the numbers here really tell the story. A recent study found that a whopping 73% of beauty professionals admit they've hung up on a salesperson, even if they were kind of interested. Why? Simply because of how that first approach felt. That's a huge number of doors slammed shut. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get into the psychology of that automatic no. Then we're going to perfect your first 30 seconds, and they are crucial. After that, we'll get into mastering the actual conversation. And finally, we'll wrap up with the art of making a great exit, even without a sale. Okay, so let's start by getting inside your prospect's head. Why the instant shutdown? I promise you it's not personal. It has nothing to do with you or your amazing new laser machine. It's actually about their survival. Psychologists actually have a name for this, the objection reflex. Picture Sylvia, right? She's a super busy spa manager. She's probably getting 15, maybe 20 sales calls every single week. Her brain has literally built a defense mechanism that kicks in less than a third of a second. It's not a real rejection, it's a reflex, and it's all about protecting her most valuable resource, her time. And this is where the wires get crossed. You hear a sentence about their needs, right? But what they are really saying is, you've just set off my sales pitch alarm. They're not even thinking about your product yet. They're just reacting to the interruption. Your whole job is to change the alarm they hear. And here is the proof that the need is absolutely there. A staggering 64% of the exact same professionals who said, I don't need anything, turned around and bought a similar service or device from a competitor within 6 months. So what was the only difference? It was the approach. So how do we build a better approach? It all starts right at the beginning. That first impression is everything, so we have to totally rebuild it from scratch. We're going to focus on those first 30 seconds to completely bypass that reflex objection. Just look at this comparison. It's night and day, right? On the left, you've got the classic product pitch. That just screams sales call. But on the right, you have a relational pitch. It immediately shows respect for their time, it establishes your relevance, and it frames the whole call as a simple peer-to-peer introduction. It's not a sales attack. Okay, here's the winning formula, broken down by the second. First 5 seconds, your name, your company. Simple. The next 10 seconds, establish that you know their world, that you work with businesses just like theirs. And then, the final, most critical 15 seconds, you pivot. You make it 100% about them. That little shift from me to you is the key that unlocks the door. Now, once that door is cracked open, how you step through it matters a lot. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. Remember who you're talking to. These are beauty professionals. They are masters of communication. And trust me, they can sniff out a script from a mile away. These right here are the vocal red flags. You know, the machine gun delivery where you're just firing off facts, or that constant upward inflection that makes you sound unsure, or talking in these long run-on sentences without taking a breath. All of that just screams nervous salesperson. A salon owner in Paris, Marie, she put it perfectly. She said, if they sound like they're reading IKEA instructions, I just hang up. So what's the fix? It's something we call the SPA method. You need to match the vibe of your client's world. Speak calmly at a measured pace. Use pauses. Let your key points actually land. And, this is so important, smile when you talk. They can literally hear it in your voice, and it gives off the same authentic, confident energy they use with their own clients. Okay, so what do you actually talk about? Forget your product's features for a minute. You need a magic question. If you're calling a beauty institute, try this. What is the one treatment that your clients are most passionate about right now? See? It's not about what you're trying to sell, it's about their success. And it immediately starts a real conversation about their business. Calling a hair salon? This question is a killer opener. It shows you get their world, that you know they're in a competitive space, and it invites them to talk about what makes them proud of their work. You're building instant rapport. And for a spa manager, this question is gold. It shows genuine empathy and interest in their career. You're inviting them to connect on a way deeper level than just a sales call. You see how these questions totally change the game? It goes from a pitch to a real consultation. But let's be real. What if you do all this and the timing just isn't right? It happens. But that call is not a failure. A graceful exit can be just as valuable as a sale because you're planting seeds for future business. This right here is the magic recommendation formula. A salesperson, Thomas, used this exact line with an esthetician who told him she just bought from his competitor. So instead of a dead end, he walked away with 3 referrals, and 2 of those turned into sales. You never ever have to leave a call empty-handed. This is why you need your own personalized exit kit ready to go on every call. Step 1, always thank them, and mean it. Step 2, offer them something valuable that isn't about sales, like an industry report or a webinar invite. And step 3, politely ask for that recommendation. You're respecting their no for now while opening doors for later. You know, this all really boils down to avoiding one huge mistake, the narcissistic monologue. And this chart says it all. The data is so clear. Salespeople who talk 80% of the time, they convert 5 times less than those who listen 80% of the time. One rep actually timed his calls and realized he was talking for 7 straight minutes before asking his first real question. When he flips that ratio, his sales literally double. And finally, I want you to let this number just sink in for a second. In the beauty tech world, 52% of those initial no's eventually become yeses within 18 months, but that only happens if you use a smart, non-commercial, value-first follow-up strategy. That first call isn't the end. It's just the very beginning of the relationship. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. After everything we've covered, the next time you hear "I don't need anything," are you going to hear a dead end, or are you going to hear the beginning of a really great conversation?